It's time for Vets News with the guys from Vets Helping Vets. Here's Hank and Gary. Guys, good morning.
It's going to be hot today, guys. Be careful out there. I hope
heat
you're giving
advisory.
It is a heat advisory. So if you're
105
working outside
degrees.
today, you better have water and be ready because this is brutal. This is brutal stuff.
They say it'll be 100. It'll feel like it's 105 degrees. We're under a heat advisory from the National Weather Service.
Well, I see these poor
from
homeless.
11 to 7.
Oh, it's terrible. I seen these homeless people walking around in that stuff yesterday. I'm going, my God. At least give them some water anyway. Listen, we do have casualties. I wish we didn't, but we do. And Gary brought the list with him.
Yeah, and sadly, starting with the U.S. Fire Administration, we have firefighter Stephen A. Farron, who was a former fire chief. He was killed in a training accident. He was with the Hauppauge Fire Department in Hauppauge, New York, and I want to say that he was a volunteer. And moving to law enforcement, a sad day or a sad couple weeks in law enforcement. We have Officer Joseph Santana of the El Monte Police Department in California. His end of watch was June the 14th. He was shot and killed while responding to a domestic violence call. And on the same call, also Corporal Michael Padres, also of the El Monte Police Department, was shot and killed. His end of watch also June 14th. We have Deputy Sheriff Austin Melvin Richardson of the Fremont County Sheriff's Office in Iowa. His end of watch was also June 14th. He died in a vehicle collision. We have Deputy First Class Glenn Hilliard of the Winnebago Sheriff's Office in Maryland. His end of watch was June 12th. He was shot and killed while attempting to make an arrest on a fugitive. Now, these officers were shot and killed trying to save somebody else's life. So, our thoughts and prayers go out to the family of this firefighter and these law enforcement officers, and keep them in your prayers daily, please.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.
Okay, Tom, thank you. Every week unfortunately, we do that, and every week we have casualties of police officers and firefighters in the military. As I've talked to you many times, every week we've got police officers putting their lives on the line, and it seems to escape the attention of national media, which almost seldom mentions it. We mention it because it needs to be mentioned, needs to be remembered. Listen, we're going to start off this morning just to kind of a disclaimer. Unfortunately, people kind of piggyback onto Vets Helping Vets' reputation and other things. So just because someone tells you they're associated with us, please give us a call. I mean, we have people going door to door sometimes, telling people they're with us. They're out in front of supermarkets. Sometimes they tell people they're with us. Verify that before you do anything with them. We've had a lot of problems with that, and other people in town who run different agencies who we have nothing to do with tell people they're associated with us. And unfortunately, one of them we have to disclaim is Jinky Diaz and Caliber Home Loans, which are no longer associated with Vets Helping Vets in any way, shape, or form. We are bringing in a new team to work with veterans for real estate and mortgages, hopefully next week, certainly by July. So anyway, that's unfortunate, but that happens. So if someone tells you they're associated with us, please give us a call, 433-2320. We'll set the record straight. Some people are, many people are not, but people will take advantage of us. Good news is we were profiled and got an award yesterday from not an NBC affiliate out of Orlando. What do they call that, Gary? Champions of the community or something like that?
Community from what's it,
that
West
was-
2 News?
Yeah,
West 2 News.
Yeah, out of Miss Watkins came up. I guess she's one of the anchors on the
Orlando,
weekend.
Daytona Beach.
You got it, yeah. So they came up, gave us a nice, they're going to broadcast it next week, I think, and just recognize the agency for what
Who'd you put on camera?
Unfortunately, I was mostly on
Ooh,
camera. I
that's-
know,
that's
listen,
no
you
good.
can't have
That's no good.
everything, you know, so.
Why can't we have a stunt Hank?
Well, Tom, the choice was either that, myself, or you. So,
Well, I would go with you every time.
yeah,
in that
so would
case.
I.
Yeah.
And I showed them a photo. They
Nope.
said, no, Hank, it's you, you know.
Well, expensive cameras.
Yeah, well, that's what he told me. He couldn't afford to lose
I
them. So
understand
anyway, good people, nice people. They came up,
Congratulations, by
spent
the
a
way.
yeah. You know what? It's not. And again, it
And it's
happens.
not you. I know it's
No,
the
it's not
entire
me.
team.
No. It's not me. It's the volunteers. It's the staff. It's the clients. It's the people. It's the community really that ought to be profiled for helping so many veterans out. So, I just happen to be the face out there most of the time. But they were there 3 hours with us, maybe.
Yeah.
Quite a bit. And anyway, good
Matter of
people.
fact, even later in the afternoon, I don't think they ended up leaving until about 3.
Yeah. So they're good people anyway. It'll be broadcast, I think, next Thursday morning and next Sunday morning. So I'm not sure.
Congratulations to the whole team.
For the whole bunch of
the
troops
whole
out
team
there,
at
right? Yeah,
Vets Helping Vets.
That's outstanding. So
Did
there's
you,
a lot of
is that what you had in your vision? I know that this was a long time in the making. Vets Helping Vets was something you saw a need for. You put a group of people together to create
Yeah.
it. I know you don't go out and say give us accolades, but this has got to make the team feel like not only through what you see veterans accomplish through the team's help and everything, but that somebody else recognized it outside of the veterans community.
Yeah,
It's got to be a nice feeling.
yeah. Well, it does. It makes the staff feel good. I tell listen, he'll be the first to tell you, no one's going to get rich over there.
No.
Okay. But they'll leave the building every night knowing they helped a lot of people out and made a difference in some people's lives.
Money isn't always what
No,
makes
well,
you rich.
it's nice if you can afford to do that, but we keep admin costs real low, so admin costs transfers into what you pay people, and we don't pay people a lot, and where the money comes from isn't donations, it comes from the grants that I write. And let me give some other people a pat on the back, Stan McLean, Dennis Baxley, some other legislators who I don't have all their names, the governor. So we finally got our grant to service veterans in rural areas. Gave us enough money, we'll be able to get some more social workers out there. But it's a multi-county area, all the way up to Bradford and Clay County.
Y'all service that far, huh?
Well, yeah, we do, but we've had trouble doing it. So with these dollars, which will come in a little bit later in the year, I'll be able to put a couple of social workers on we hope, a motorhome. If you have one out there and you want to donate it, we'll be glad to take it off your hands. If it's running and serviceable, and we can get it to travel throughout these. Basically, it's an 8-county area.
Right. Yeah,
So
'cause,
we wrote a grant through
Clay and Bradford ain't
Yeah.
close.
Well, these people, I'll tell you what happens. A lot of these veterans and their families live in these very rural areas. They don't have the means to get to services. So we want to bring the services to them.
Yeah, I know some people live in the Hampton area and
Oh,
all up
listen,
there. That
absolutely.
they don't have the ability to get to Gainesville, which is 25 miles away.
Well, even if they have transportation,
Right.
they can't afford gas
That's
the
what
way
I
it
mean.
is
That's
today.
what I'm saying.
So we've been talking about this for a couple of years. We've had it out there. We got kind of nixed a few times because of COVID, but Stan McLean and Dennis kind of stayed with it, and the governor signed off on it. So sometime a little bit later this year, we'll have those funds, and you'll be seeing a Veterans Helping Veterans van or hopefully motorhome traveling to these rural areas to service veterans and their families.
And you hope to get it wrapped, so we'll see it coming.
I would hope so. Well, I would hope we'll put Tom on the windshield or something. I don't know.
That's
you
not
want to be our
wrapping.
hood ornament, Tom?
That would be a hood ornament, not wrap, not
Well,
wrap.
no. Well, we could do that too.
What are you going to do? Call it the Silverback Motorhome? So my wife refers
I would
to
tell
me
you
as.
what we call it, but we're on the air, and I'm sure you have
My
restrictions.
wife refers to me as her Silverback. so-
Well, no, I've heard the other names too.
yeah,
Tom,
yeah.
Well, you know, the great thing about this, Tom, is in Hank's vision, we're going to put computers in there so people can apply for food stamps, Medicaid. Hopefully, we're going to link up with the local Veteran Services Office so they can do claims.
It'll be a
right there.
traveling vets helping
Yeah,
vets
that's
office.
That's exactly what it will be.
If you give us one with a shower, we hook up the water, you know, we can do the same thing we do in our building. So, you know, we're just looking forward to great things with this.
Yeah. Well,
new
you know,
project.
if someone wants to donate one, you know, obviously it's a tax write-off. I've
Certainly.
already put the word. We just found out last Thursday we were getting the grant. So, you know, it's been one of those things. I spend a lot of time in the sun, and I have these visions sometimes. So this was one of the visions.
As long as you don't have a vision like Joe Smith, we'll be okay. We'll be okay. We'll be okay. For those that don't get that reference, just look in a history book.
Yeah. Okay.
Don't buy no mummies.
There you go.
Exactly.
Gary, what
we
else?
got to take a break.
Okay,
real
take your
quick.
break. Come back. We'll talk a little bit more.
We'll be back after this timeout on WOCA, The Source.
Dad's service to our country is something we're so proud of. He made a difference and set a great example. Now it's our turn to honor the sacrifices he made for our family and this country. As veteran specialists, Hires Baxley Funeral Service helps us celebrate Dad's life and can help you too. Hires Baxley is here for you during your time of need or when planning for the future. For more information, call 352-484-0891 or visit hiresbaxley.com/choice.
Hey folks, this week Bob Wines continues to fight inflation with a fabulous 50% off sale. And I'm not talking about a few select items. It's practically the whole 5.5-acre store. Hundreds and hundreds of green and growing things you want now at 50% off. We're talking camellias and azaleas, roses, gardenias, shrubs and herbs and citrus, other fruits, annuals, and perennials. The list is much too long to name here. Check the huge color ad or go to bobwinescamelliagardens.net for the complete list of items on sale for 50% off this week. Then head on out to Bob Wines Camellia Gardens and Nursery on Southeast 38th Street in Ocala. Now they're open daily till 4:30, Saturdays till 3. Do not miss this huge 50% off sale all over the store at Bob Wines Camellia Gardens, keeping you in bloom for 70 years.
Veterans Helping Veterans USA. Call 352-433-2320. We help veterans and their families with limited financial assistance, counseling, employment referrals, and a food and clothing bank. You can help in making a huge difference in the veterans' lives we serve by donating food, clothing, household items, or direct financial assistance. All donations are tax deductible. Veterans Helping Veterans USA. 352-433-2320. Thank you for your attention, and God bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above.
We're back on Veterans News with the guys from Vet Helping Vets. Guys, take it away.
We're back again. Listen, saw a story last couple of weeks ago about a guy down in Orlando who was selling his plasma so he could put gas in his tank, right? So I said, you know, I was pretty upset about that. Sure enough, what happens last week, I got a veteran in my office, young vet who has a job, pretty much doing the same thing. So he could make ends meet, he was selling his plasma. So here we are in America. That's something I used to see in third world countries, that people selling various parts of the body and blood. And so here's a young guy, young veteran, served his country, did everything he could, got a job, got a family, but couldn't make ends meet because of inflation and because of some of the policies that we've got going on, selling his plasma just to make ends meet. Now
He had to walk in the heat, Hank, because his car was out of gas, and then walk back.
It came to us. We were to help some of that, but that's an ongoing situation. I wonder how many families, how many people are out there doing exactly that thing. So when you say the policies coming out of Washington don't hurt, they do hurt, and they're hurting people tremendously in putting this country in a crisis that you know, a lot of people are depressed and angry and all the rest
Let
of
me
it.
ask you this question, both of you guys, because you deal with it on a regular basis. Is there a point where you say, that doesn't surprise me anymore? Or do you still, or there people walk in and give you like that? I'm having to sell plasma to make ends meet.
Mm-hmm.
Is there that doesn't surprise me moment, or is that, dear God, what are we doing?
Well, you know,
y'all have to hear stories like that all the time.
yeah, we hear it all the time, and some of them, you know, some of them you anticipate. But when those sort of, you know, that makes sense if someone's not working. You know, we've always had that in certain segments of the community. People who are into the drug scene or into alcoholism, they're on Skid Row. Okay, but these are solid citizens with jobs. You know, your neighbors and my neighbors happen to do that. Now, yeah, I'm not so sure surprised, but it's anger that touches me,
Gary,
because I see the policies that create that.
Right.
And you know that doesn't have to be that way, except those people don't give a damn that were making those policies.
Gary, you deal with the pantry a lot. You're seeing people, I bet you're seeing people now that have jobs. They go to work every morning, everything. Up until the pandemic or with some of these practices that are in place now, they could go to the grocery store and get their own food and afford it and everything. And they're probably coming to the pantry now looking for a little extra so the kids can eat and they can eat.
That's the truth. And not only, and a lot of the people that come are telling me they have to go to 3 or 4 pantries. And talk about inflation, and Hank can verify this because he's the one that gives me the money. But in the past 3 weeks, we've spent close to $2,000 on food, and our shelves still look like they need food. Used to go to Save-A-Lot for $400, and we'd fill up a pickup truck and drive it back, and the shelves would be full. $2,000 later, you know, we're still lacking things.
Yeah, and those, you know, those churches and groups that help you out, help all the agencies out, are in the same position. They, you know, their dollars don't go as far.
I talked to Carla about it last week.
Carla's a good
Carla
example.
said that their cost is doubled, and their amount that they're given is in half.
And you're seeing more people. Yeah. So you're your costs are up, your clients are up, and you're trying to stretch those dollars as best you can. You're looking for bargains every place you can look for them. And, you know, inflation at close to 9% now and climbing, God knows where it will end. So it puts a hurting on everybody. We need to work together. But let me thank those people who are giving us, bringing in food. The folks down there at Del Webb Spruce Creek were real good to us last week. I picked up a nice check from them. They had a real successful golf tournament. So Charlie and Jim and Jack and all those guys who've been on the radio with us a few times, if you're listening, thank you again. We really appreciate your efforts. Okay.
There was an effort yesterday for the forget the exact name of it. It's the agency that they're trying to get veteran suicides down below 22 or 21.
Mm-hmm.
It's something 22 was the name of the charity, and Daniel Tillis, who is a local fisherman here, and he does some local things. He was a guest bartender last night at the place, raising money for the program to try to get suicides, to help suicide veterans, because as you know, you guys know, it's 22 a day. Now some people say 21, 22 a day.
Well,
but if you are experiencing those thoughts, give this number a call, 800-273-8255. That's 800-273-8255. It's there for you veterans who think that the only way out is through suicide.
Yeah.
There's alternatives. Call that number, 800-273-8255.
Yeah. And by the
also,
way,
Tom, Veterans Helping Veterans has 12 chaplains available to talk.
yeah. And they do a great job. They're trained. They're compassionate, and so there are alternatives. There are people who care. By the way, I tested that 800 number. It does work, and the people you talk to do give a damn. It's not like you're just getting blown off. So if you're a veteran, family member of a veteran, you need to call that number and listen. There's help available, and there's help locally, and there's certainly help at a national level. And we've talked about it many times. One of the things we've seen, particularly in the last couple of years, is a much more increase in the people suffering from mental health related issues. PTSD is just one of them, but depression, a lot of issues that these people are dealing with. They dealt with them before, and now what's happening in this country, both with COVID, the economy, the divisions that have been created, all are kind of putting more pressure on people who are already having problems. So it's increased dramatically. And I think every social service agency in town will pretty much tell you the same thing.
By the way, a guy a couple days ago had a problem, and I cleared it up for it and you'll appreciate this. June 14th, Flag Day, was established June 14th of 1777 by the Second Continental Congress. 2 years earlier, though, on June 14th, 1775, the First Continental Congress created, therefore it was his birthday, the U.S. Army. And I said, well, that's great, but November 10th is a better birthday. I just cleared it. I said, it's great that June 14th is the Army's birthday, but November 10th is a better birthday. Yeah. I think I'm right, Hank.
Well, you're absolutely right, because, Tom, I've never known you to be wrong.
Yeah, but not when it comes to November 10th being the best birthday.
Well, I'm wrong about almost anything, really, but we got it right on Joe Martone. We both agree.
Gary doesn't seem to think.
No,
born
it's
on
actually
November
Gary's
10th.
birthday.
I know it is.
Yeah, it's Gary's birthday. I said he would have been, had he joined the Marine Corps, he would have been a hero.
He would have
I'd have been a sergeant major,
That's
probably.
right. Well, probably a damn general. You know, they would have put a star on you.
You'd have been on the Joint Chiefs if you'd have been in the Marine Corps.
Yeah, listen, you know because you experienced that the Marine Corps makes a big deal about its birthday.
It does.
And a big deal about its history. Probably more so than the other services do. But
well, that's because Congress, in an act of treason, made him part of the U.S. Navy.
Listen, I met a corpsman yesterday that served in Vietnam, so you know there are some good Navy folks out there. You know.
My dad always said Congress did a treasonous act by making the Marine Corps part of the Navy.
Well, yeah, I've heard other stories like that too, and beyond, you know.
But happy birthday to the U.S. Army, by the way.
Well, listen, there's a happy birthday for them. They, you know, surprisingly, I thought Gary would come out with a cake. You don't escape November 10th in my building without eating some cake.
I've eaten cake in your building on November 10th.
Yeah, and if you come by this November 10th, you'll eat it again. And if you're not, we'll bring a piece out to you.
There you go.
Yeah, listen.
Hopefully it falls on a Thursday, so
I haven't looked at the calendar. I think it's midweek, but if it's not, I'll send a messenger out here with it. Okay.
Gary was in the U.S. Army, though, right?
Well, Army and Navy.
Army and Navy.
Now, listen, he was in the Navy, probably had it made, and then joined the Army, become a grunt, you know, which is an infantry guy.
He probably hit his head on one of the stairwells or something in the Navy.
There has been some talk to that effect.
Several times.
On the bulkhead.
On the bulkhead.
Yeah.
Wham! Dented the bulkhead.
We've all done that, you know. It takes a little while to get used to Navy ships if the first time aboard. You know, you got to duck when you're going through the hatchways and whatnot.
Well, my dad said he was the perfect height for a Navy ship, 5'8". He said.
Yeah, well, the
said,
smaller the better.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
He said the 6 foot tall, 6'1" guys, that bulkhead wore him out.
Well, bulkhead will wear you out, and those passageways are narrow. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, we're probably out of time. We're getting close to out of time, so let me go ahead and tell you what I tell you every week, and hopefully you all feel the same way. Is thank you for your service, and God bless America, everybody.
Guys, we will talk to you next Thursday. That is Guys from Vets Helping Vets. We'll be back at this time out. You're listening to Ocala Talks on 1370 AM, 96.3 FM. This is WOCA, The Source.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountain to the prairie,
USA Radio News with Lance Pry.
As much of the country deals with the heat, parts of Iowa, Illinois, Missouri, Indiana, Michigan, and Ohio will see temperatures up to 110 degrees on Thursday. The heat is projected to shift back westward and send temperatures soaring into the triple digits again from the plains to the Midwest to central states over the weekend and into next week. With inflation burning holes in America's wallet, Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell on Wednesday raised the rate at which banks get their money 0.75 percentage point.
The economy and the country have been through a lot over the past 2.5 years and have proved resilient. It is essential that we bring inflation down if we are to have a sustained period of strong labor market conditions that benefit all.
The French president, German chancellor, and Italian prime minister arrived in Kyiv, Ukraine Thursday in a show of solidarity against Russia's invasion. USA Radio News.
Okay, we are running a car drive right now to help veterans all across America. So if you have an old car, truck, or van, even a motorcycle or an RV sitting around, you can right now give it away and help the vets. They really need your help. And your car will help support the vets and their families. And guess what? You even get a tax donation. Plus, we'll even come and pick up your car for free. And all you've got to do is pick up your phone right now and make a free call. Now is the perfect time to do something good for the vets. Give back to the vets right now for all they've done for this country. And your old car can really help them. So call the Veterans Car Donation Program right now for free pickup of your vehicle. Help the vets and help your taxes at the same time. Call right now.
800-883-3024. 800-883-3024. 800-883-3024. That's 800-883-3024.
Do we guarantee relief factor is going to lower or...
Hey, Matt, I know Sunrise Automotive does auto stuff, but I need some tires for my truck. Can you recommend someone?
Yes, I can. We do that.
No, I mean I need them installed and balanced and all that.
Yep, we do that.
Well, my son needed his windows tinted.
Yep, we do that.
I need my seat replaced.
Yep, we do that too.
I need a new roof line, a new spoiler, and a new trunk.
Yep, we can even do that too.
Okay, I get it. I suppose you can also do a radio show too.
Well, as a matter of fact, join me, Matt Gibbs from Sunrise Automotive, every Tuesday at 10 for auto repair with personal care right here on The Source.
You don't get to be the league's all-time